Audiobook presents an unabridged recording of Rowan Hood, Outlaw Girl of Sherwood Forest, by Nancy Springer, narrated by Emily Gray.
Chapter 1. Gathering coltsfoot at the edge of the forest, pulling the plants, roots and all, with her tough steel knife, Rosemary had just straightened when she felt her mother's protection wrap around her, so strong it made her drop her basket. Mantled in her mother's power, she could do nothing but shrink to the stony ground, crouching in the furs like a rabbit, trembling, her heart beating like partridge wings. She knew she should not have been afraid, for nothing bad could happen to her in the embrace of her mother's spell. But she felt terrified, for she knew that her mother would not have sent such a spell unless something was terribly wrong. Wolves. Was it wolves? Willing herself to move her head, Ro looked around. Sheep grazed on a common, and beyond the common a ploughman plodded behind a team of oxen, and beyond the ploughed strips of land huddled the huts of the village, where women laboured all day grinding barley. And beyond the village rose the walls of the Lord's stronghold. Ro looked the other way, to the forest, rising like a wall, its mazy wilderness as much of a stronghold as the Lord's castle. She saw only a haze of new green leaves, but she knew that almost anything might hide within it. Shadowy folk lived there, spirits in the streams, the bracken, the trees. The Alpha, the old ones of the hollow hills, lived there, or so it was said. Outlaws lived there, wild boars lived there, and wolves, maybe starving and marauding after a hard winter. And she lived there also. Her mother's spell ended as suddenly as it had begun, cut off as if by a sword. It should not have ended so suddenly, or so soon. Rosemary stood, as alert as a deer for any hint of danger. But she saw or heard nothing wrong. Plovers flew in a rain-washed springtime sky. The ploughman whistled to his team. Sheep grazed. The forest stood misted in green. Quickly, quietly, Rose slipped between the slim trunks of young rowans into the forest. Under the shelter of tall beeches and oaks, she padded homeward, the skirt of her brown frock clinging to her ankles. Her bare feet made no sound on the mossy ground. It was not wolves. It was something with sharper fangs, orange fangs of flame. Ro whiffed its grey scent on the air long before she should have smelled the smoke of her mother's hearth fire. She broke into a run. But there was not much left to run toward. Not much but ashes left when she got to the forest glade where she had lived all her life. Thudding across the tender meadow grass, Ro saw blackened ground. Some lumps of earth where the wattle walls had stood. Some charred wood still flaming. And the bitter smoke rising where the cottage should have been. That was all. A few paces from the scorched ground, she faltered to a stop, numb, her heart trying to deny everything. Her mother had escaped, her heart tried to tell her. It was an accident. The thatch had caught fire, and her mother had not been able to put it out. Her mother was wandering the forest looking for her. In a moment, her mother would come running and hug her. Please, let her be alive, Ro's heart begged. And I will never vex her again. I will hang my mantle where it belongs. I will fetch kindling. I will sweep. But her mind was strong and knew better. Why would her mother have sent a spell of protection upon her if the thatch had caught fire? Instead, her mother would have sent a call for help. Whatever had happened, Ro knew, was no accident. Already knowing what she would find, Rosemary inched closer, forcing her staring eyes to study the blackened ground. There. Hoofprints. Horsemen.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.